Hello and welcome back to George Forge and Welding. Today I'm going to be doing some coopering, which is the traditional craft of making barrels and casks. I'm not going to be building a cask, but just repairing this one. As you can see, it's missing one of the hoops here. When I first bought these barrels, they were very loose, and so I just drove the existing hoops down to tighten them up, but this one is missing one of its hoops. The first thing I need to do is make a piece of metal that's approximately 90 inches long and 1 3/8 wide. I'm gonna make the hoop out of this piece of 16th inch thick sheet, but as you can tell, this is only 36 inches, not 90. So I'm gonna cut 3 strips out of this and weld them together to get the piece I need. All right, now let's take these over to the belt sander and get the edges all cleaned up and get them prepped for welding. I got them all cleaned up and prepped, so I'm gonna go ahead and tack them together, get them welded, and then grind the welds down nice and smooth. Just gonna put that under there so I don't accidentally weld it to the table. If I were to take this piece of metal and just go ahead and wrap it around here, as you can see, there's a gap at the top and it's touching the wood at the bottom. If I then hammered it down on, it's gonna dig into the wood, and that's not good. So what I need to do is something called splaying, where I hammer on just one side of the hoop to basically give it that angled flare to fit the roundness of the cask. As you can see, it's starting to curve up, so when I bend it around, that's gonna make the bottom side wider than the top. So now when I wrap it around, look how much better that fits on there. That's almost perfect. I did it a little bit too much here at the beginning, so I'll cut some of that off, but I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it around and mark where I need to cut it at. I'm gonna wrap it around a little bit higher than where I want it, so I have room to hammer down onto it. And just mark where I'm gonna put my rivets. You and the Cooper on YouTube can hammer these through in one hit. I don't know that I can do that, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I don't know if I trust my fingers being right here though. I'm gonna grab some pliers to hold it with. Hey, it actually did. Look at that. And I'm gonna put a little bit of bend in it so that it's not fighting me. Oh, look at that. It punched a perfect little circle out of it. Two hits on that one. I'm gonna see if I can go through 2 layers with it. Make sure I'm over my hole here. Nope, not quite. I'm bending that one. I'm gonna grab another one. All right. Come on. Does not want to go through 2, so I'm just gonna grab a different one again and go through one at a time. Oh well. Sweet. I'm gonna cut off a little bit of the excess and then I'll rivet them over. Ooh, that one's hot. I don't have an actual driver, but I do have an old jackhammer bit that I just ground the end of flat that I'm going to use for driving that hoop down on. It's not perfectly round, so it's not wanting to. There it goes. Actually tighten up. That hoop actually turned out very nicely. It's nice and tight on the top as well as on the bottom. Now that I've got my barrel all repaired, I'm going to cut it in half to use as planters in my front yard. Well, there you have it. I have 2 very nice planters now made out of the old barrel that we made the hoop for. If you want to see more coopering stuff, check out You and the Cooper on YouTube. He does that for a living, so there's a lot more of that content on his page than there will be on mine. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please consider liking it and commenting. And if you're not subscribed, I'd appreciate if you would subscribe to my channel.